Okay, so I want to talk about the finale of Ready to Love. Okay, it was choosing day, and it was only one that I was shocked about. I don't know about you guys, but I was shocked about the Mark Anthony and Mercedes choice. I just knew they were both gonna pick each other. But that long distance thing is a big thing, especially when you're starting out. It's different if you're together and then y'all decide to move to different states, one before the other or whatever. You already have a foundation, set up. But just starting out, they both still young, you know what I mean? And his last relationship ended because of the distance. So we're just gonna kind of recap what happened on this episode, and then we're gonna talk about the choices. Okay, so I did take notes, so you'll see me looking at my paper here and there, and then I'm going, throughout I'm gonna sprinkle in my opinions or whatever. But I first want to say that shout out to the whole cast of Ready to Love, all seasons, because this is something that has to be difficult to do on TV in front of everybody, and the fact that they don't know what is going to be aired is a big thing. I know a lot of people probably get offended of the critique and criticism and videos and comments and tweets that come out about it, but we are only commenting on what we can put together from what we see. That's why, to me, the interviews are so important. If you're a fan of the show and you really like watching it to understand, the interviews post show are very important because that's where a lot of questions get answered. So I'll let you guys know the two interviews that I really want to see following the reunion. Okay, I don't know who's going to be doing interviews because sometimes the cast declines to do interviews based on whatever came out or whatever just happens as a result of them being on the show. So they all get together for a last group brunch. Everybody looks good. Cynthia is still torn. Andre is still torn. And they're the only two that have two connections to choose from. Morgan and Tony are already, a couple pretty much. And so are Mercedes and Mark Anthony. So Morgan introduces her brother Harry to Tony. And he let Tony know, I will come looking for you. And Tony, he mentioned that Tony had that New York aggression, and he did mention jealousy too. Tony was real respectful during the meeting, but he was confused about how much or what Morgan had told her brother. And I mean, that's the thing. When you're out here dating and doing stuff, you aren't really thinking about what you could be approached by family about, especially on a dating show like this. So I know he was just probably like, dang, what did she tell him? She probably told him a lot. She probably told him a lot, Tony. Because he brought up the Lyndon situation. He brought up the entanglement and all of that. So, I mean, at the end, he did tell Morgan that he thinks Tony is ready, but he was still worried about the aggression. And then he asked Morgan if she thought that he was worth it, and she said he's worth an opportunity. But we only know what we saw. We don't know how much stuff went on behind the scenes or whatever that Morgan went through with him. We don't know. I mean, it seems like he told Morgan about Natasha, but it seems like he didn't tell Natasha about Morgan. And so then Cynthia invites two cousins and a sister to meet Andre and Anthony. And I think they were really trying to make sure that these guys had good intentions for Cynthia. They got a little bit emotional. I think all four of them cried at some point. There was one cousin on the end that I could tell that she wasn't having no bullshit because she was making little faces and she was just, really, really, just grilling with her eyes, like what you bringing to the table kind of look she had. I think they both did good at this, Andre and Anthony, but I think that Anthony seemed like he was a little more comfortable. I think Andre recognizes that he had some good choices, but I don't think he was ready for the grown woman that he was trying to date in Cynthia. I feel like he thought that he would fail, and with attitude, when your attitude is like that, when you think that you're gonna fail, you probably are. So, but the sisters thought that Andre was genuine, and they thought that Anthony was really invested. And I think that's kind of what we see too. I think that we can see that Andre's a little scared, but it's interesting that the thing that he's scared of, both of the choices that he picked, is have something that scare him. He did mention that he was still hurt over his last situation where he was a stepfather. And so, that's kind of like a red flag, because if you're still hurt about it, like, are you really ready to get into something, similar? So then Mercedes couldn't get her mom to come, but she did get one of her good friends to come and meet Mark Anthony. So the friend gets there, and they're talking about the long distance situation and the fact that Mark Anthony's last relationship ended over distance. So, that is something that is a big thing, because if you're already together and then you have to be long distance for a certain amount of time or whatever, that's a little bit different than starting out long distance, because that is like, that's a thing, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be able to see each other every day physically. So, it's and they're still young. So, that is a question or whatever. The friend was grilling Mark Anthony. She did not come to play, okay? And Mercedes was saying that Mark Anthony was pretty, and so the friend said, well, if you take pretty away, what do you have? Because you really need to think about this. The friend, I feel like, gave solid advice. So then Jeffrey introduced her sister to Andre, and the first thing that the sister said after Andre started talking was that you seem to speak in my sister's love languages, and I like that. That's good. So they had a conversation. Andre left, and then Jeffrey and her sister talked. The sister liked Andre, but she told her sister she just didn't want her to have to compromise on anything. Andre, while he was there, did say that he promises to be transparent and honest, but that is, to me, code speak for, for example, some dudes are like, well, I'm not a dog because I tell all women that I have multiple women. No, sir, you're still a dog. You're just being honest and transparent about it. And they think that that's supposed to make you overlook it, but no. So when he said that he promised to be honest and transparent, it was just kind of like, oh, Andre, are you saying that you are, foreseeing yourself fucking up, but you're gonna be honest? Or I don't know. I just was like, that was a little red flag for me because of the way he worded that. But one of the things that my greedy ass has a question about, maybe somebody could drop in the comments and let me know, like, a lot of these dates, they have food on the table and nobody's eating. Now, I do realize that they have to do a lot of talking, right? Are they not eating the food and just taking it home? What's going on? Because I don't understand. I would be eating. Okay. So yeah, I just want to know that, because at the end of Jeffrey's date with Andre and her sister, it looked like all of those plates were still full. So I mean, the wings look good, the fries look good. Like, why didn't y'all eat anything? That's that's what I want to know. So now it's choosing day, right? So we already know Tony and Morgan, and we know Mark Anthony and Mercedes, but then between Anthony, Cynthia, Jeffrey, and Andre is a potential for two couples, right? It was a potential for two couples. And it would have been so messed up if it wouldn't have gone like it would be. It would have been so messed up if it wouldn't have gone like it did, because somebody would have been left out in the cold. And I feel like Cynthia made a great choice choosing Anthony. Anthony made a great choice choosing Cynthia, because I feel like they both bring a lot of similarities to the table that is going to make their foundation a bit stronger, because they're already both parents, and they're both, seeing if this other person could fit into their life with their kids. So, but I think that both of them are genuine. I think Anthony came off as a good dude, and people always talk about edits and stuff like that. Like, I didn't see a lot of bad edits for Anthony. Anthony was just being him, as far as I can see. I don't know Anthony, but as far as how these things go, I think that they made good choices. Cynthia as well. I didn't see any bad edits for Cynthia. So I just felt like she was genuine. That's what I was getting. So then Jeffrey picked Andre and Andre picked Jeffrey. Now, out of the group, I do think that this was a good choice for both of them as far as, you know, just their personalities, how they look, how they vibe, right? But Andre just seemed like he was shaky to me. You know what I'm saying? He just seemed, he couldn't, you know, he just seemed like he was a little shaky. And I think the reason why, in my opinion, is that, you know, sometimes you realize you want something, but then when you start to think about what it's going to take to maintain it or to keep it going, you kind of talk yourself out of it. I feel like that's what Mercedes did with Anthony, because it was just, it seemed like he was so far past where she was, and she, you know, I feel like she self-sabotaged herself in that situation or whatever. But then it all worked out because Cynthia and Anthony got together or whatever. But so Jeffrey and Andre choose each other, and, you know, they kiss and everything like that. And so we got two couples out of this. We got Cynthia and Anthony, and we got Jeffrey and Andre, and then we got Tony and Morgan. Okay, they're not a couple, but I was kind of shocked about that. I was really shocked that she waited this long to say all these things, because it seemed like she had been picking up everything, even though we didn't think that she was, you know, picking it up. She was picking up everything, okay? And she was like, dude, if anybody gonna look stupid on TV, it's gonna be you, not me. Now, Tony spent a lot of time this season making Morgan look crazy. And let's just be honest, like, as women, sometimes we do, you know, we all got a little tick up there, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we do let it out or let it show, you know, early. And she did let it show early. But a lot of the things that he did and said, with her trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, it did make her look a certain way, right? And so when she said all of these things to him that she had been paying attention to, and the fact that, let me see what she said. She said that she was embarrassed, she was disappointed, and, you know, she's choosing herself. I was like, oh my goodness. I know Tony wanted to ball his fist up at that moment, because Tony brought flowers and he brought a gift, okay? But it looked like she gave him flowers back. I know that was a long walk for Tony to once they ended that scene, because but I do know this. I do know that the way that Tony comes off, there's not going to be another chance for Morgan to do that. If there is, I'd be shocked, but I don't think so. I think that he was like, oh, hell no, I can't believe she did this on national TV. But I mean, you were doing all these things during the season, and so you thought you was Playboy smooth Tony from up top. So, and then Mercedes and Mark Anthony. Now, I feel like Mark Anthony was upset as well, because, you know, they came all this way, and she made a last decision that, nope, I'm gonna pick myself. But I think that they're gonna be fine, though. I think that even if there may even be a chance for them to come back together later on, because I feel like they will stay in contact. They'll stay friends. You know what I mean? All the cast does things after the show, so they'll be seeing each other anyway. So, like I said before, it's not the end all be all if you don't pick anybody, because you're still going to be able to see these same people, and you're going to be able to go out into the world and meet new people. So, you know, it's not the end all be all. I feel like picking yourself is always a safe choice, like Mercedes said, whenever you're in doubt. No problems with that. But okay, so now we're about to get into the reunion. The reunion's coming up. It's going to be in multiple parts. We did get to see a little snippet after the show ended. It looks like Andre and Jeffrey had some changes. It looks like somebody from the cast is dating somebody from a previous season. It looks like there's more Tony and Morgan back and forth. So I'm really interested to see the reunion. I'm also looking forward to two specific interviews. I'm going to watch a bunch of interviews, but I'm looking forward to two specific interviews, and that is the Morgan interview and the Tony interview. So I do hope that they interview, with some of the vloggers that do interviews, because I got questions, and I know we all do. Like, you know, I want to know, you know, at what point did Morgan decide, you know what, this is not, no, And I want to know kind of what happened afterwards. So I can't wait to see that. So me and my sister have a new channel, and it is called D City Life Sisters. I will put the link in the description below. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to be doing our Thursday night lives over there, where we do reality rants. We talk about a bunch of things, like sometimes it's stuff that's going on in the world, sometimes it's just reality TV, depending on how much time we got. But we will be uploading some other stuff over there too, because we got a lot of things that we want to do. And so I'm going to move that over there to our new channel. And this channel is going to be focused on reviews, the things that excite me in life that I like to talk about. You know, I'm a crafter, so I'll be uploading some crafting things that I've been working on. Yeah, so get in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about the show. Let me know what your thoughts was. Were you shocked about Mark Anthony and Mercedes? Like, what was your, you know, favorite moment of this season? Like, did you like this season in relation to all the other seasons? What was your favorite Ready to Love season? You know what I mean? So that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.